pause, breathe. Let the noise fall away for a moment. You are not here by accident, and this moment is not random. Something inside you already sensed it before the words formed. This is not just encouragement. This is preparation. You are being equipped for what's ahead, and the equipping always begins before the announcement. You have felt the pressure increase lately. Not dramatic pressure, real pressure. The kind that shows up when responsibilities quietly multiply, when people start leaning on you more, when mistakes feel more costly than before, when your tolerance for chaos decreases but your capacity to handle it somehow increases. That tension is not a sign you are failing. It is a sign you are being refined. You may not have language for it yet, but your spirit knows the old version of you would not survive what is coming. So God is not rushing you forward, He is strengthening you inward. That is why this season feels heavy and quiet at the same time. Less applause, fewer explanations, more internal work. Think about a normal day in your life. You wake up, check your phone, and before your feet touch the floor, your mind is already calculating deadlines, bills, family expectations, unresolved conversations. At work, you carry more responsibility than your title reflects. In your finances, you are learning restraint instead of impulse. In your family, you are often the emotional stabilizer, even when no one asks how you're doing. This is not coincidence. This is training. You are being trusted with weight. Many people want promotion without preparation, visibility without maturity, breakthrough without discipline. But God does not operate that way. He equips before He elevates. He fortifies before He sends. And right now, He is working on your internal structure, your patience, your discernment, your ability to endure discomfort without losing clarity, as the Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 10. See, I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction. This is not punishment language. This is craftsmanship language. Refinement implies intention. Testing implies purpose. A furnace is controlled heat, not chaos, not destruction. You are not being burned up. You are being strengthened. You may wonder why it has to be this intense. Why the delays and why the misunderstandings? Why the sense of being overlooked? But what if this season is protecting you from stepping into something too early? What if God is saving you from a collapse that would happen if you arrived unprepared? Consider a simple everyday moment you're in a meeting where tension rises. Others react emotionally, defend themselves, speak too fast. You feel the same surge, but you pause. You choose your words carefully. You listen more than you speak. That restraint is not weakness. That is evidence of refinement. That is equipment activating in real time. Another moment you are tempted to spend money impulsively to escape stress. No one would know, but something in you resists. You choose discipline over relief. That choice seems small, but it is forging trustworthiness. And trustworthiness always precedes increase. This season is not about perfection. It is about formation. God is shaping how you respond under pressure, not how you perform when things are easy, because what is ahead will require stability, not hype, depth, not speed, endurance, not impulse. Let hope become tangible for a moment. Picture a future version of you, not distant, not imaginary. You walk into rooms with quiet confidence. You are not rushed by opinion. You are not shaken by sudden changes. You manage responsibility without resentment. You carry authority without arrogance. That future is not created by luck. It is being built right now, through refinement. And yes, refinement is uncomfortable. It strips false strength. It exposes weak habits. It removes dependencies you didn't realize you had. But it also leaves you lighter, clearer, and stronger than before. What burns away was never meant to go with you. Here is the direct question you must face honestly. Without spiritual language, without excuses, will you allow the refining process to finish its work in you? Or will you try to escape it too early? Because escaping refinement only delays fulfillment. If this message resonates, take a moment to like and share it with someone who is quietly carrying more than they admit. Subscribe so you stay connected as this journey unfolds. And as an act of alignment, not performance, not superstition, type 999 in the comments if you are ready to close an old season and step fully into refinement without resistance. You are beginning to understand something that once confused you: why your path has been heavier than others. Why ease seemed delayed. Why comfort always felt just out of reach. This is the section where clarity replaces confusion. You were not singled out for suffering, you were selected for endurance. From the outside, people may assume you are strong by nature. They do not see the nights you questioned yourself, the quiet moments where doubt sat beside you like an unwanted companion. They do not see how often you had to motivate yourself with no encouragement, how frequently you had to choose responsibility over relief. But this hidden endurance is not accidental. It is formative. You have endured emotional weight others avoided. You stayed when it would have been easier to walk away. You learned to function without reassurance. These experiences were not random hardships. They were repetitions, training drills. Each challenge added density to your character. Each disappointment taught you how to stand without leaning. Think about your work life. You were given tasks beyond your role, expectations without instructions, accountability without authority. At the time, it felt unfair. Now you realize something else was happening. You were learning how to carry responsibility without bitterness. You were learning how to solve problems instead of complaining about them. That skill will matter more than talent where you are going. In your finances, you may have known seasons of limitation not because you were irresponsible, but because resources were tight. You learned how to prioritize, how to wait, how to stretch what you had. Those lessons created wisdom, not lack. And wisdom is what sustains increase when it comes. In your family, you may have been the one expected to stay calm, to be understanding, to be the strong one. Even when you felt unseen, you carried others. That emotional weight did not crush you, it trained you. You now recognize subtle shifts in people's moods. You know when to speak and when silence is safer. This discernment was born from pressure. The word speaks directly into this truth. It was proclaimed in the second letter to the Corinthians on chapter 1, verse 4. He comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. This explains the pattern. You are not just surviving for yourself, you are being shaped into someone who can stabilize others. Comfort received becomes strength released. What you learned in private will one day become safety for others. You may have asked, why me when things piled up? But a better question emerges now. Who will need what I am learning? Endurance is never wasted, it is stored. Consider a simple situation: a coworker breaks down under pressure. You notice before anyone else. You do not panic, you listen. You respond with clarity, not judgment. That calm is not personality, it is practiced endurance. Another moment, a family conflict arises. Others escalate. You de-escalate. You name what matters. You protect peace without avoiding truth. That ability was forged through your own storms. Here is what many do not understand: endurance builds authority. People trust those who have been tested. Influence follows those who did not quit. You are becoming reliable, not flashy, not loud, but solid. And solidity is rare. This section is not meant to glorify pain. It is meant to redeem it. God does not waste suffering. He repurposes it. Every season that stretched you beyond comfort expanded your capacity. You can now hold more joy without fear, more responsibility without panic, more vision without arrogance. Let hope take shape clearly now. Imagine a future where your endurance pays dividends. You lead without intimidation. You manage stress without implosion. You support others without losing yourself. You do not crumble when plans change. You do not spiral when outcomes delay. You remain steady. This steadiness will become your signature. And yet, endurance also carries a quiet temptation: bitterness. You could harden, you could close off, you could tell yourself no one understands and withdraw. That is why this moment matters. Endurance must be paired with softness, or it turns into isolation. So here is the direct question you must answer inwardly. Honestly, will you allow what you endured to make you wiser, not colder? Because the same experiences that can produce compassion can also produce walls. The difference is choice. You are not behind. You are fortified. You are not overlooked. You are being built from the inside out. Others may arrive faster, but you will arrive stronger. And strength that has been tested does not collapse under pressure. It carries others through it. What you endured did not break you. It calibrated you. Abraham and Sarah knew what it meant to wait until faith felt tired. They were not beginners in belief. They had heard God's promise clearly: a child, a future, a lineage that would outnumber the stars. Years passed, then decades. Each birthday candle became a quiet reminder that time was not slowing down for them. Sarah's body aged, Abraham's strength waned, and still nothing. At first, waiting felt holy. Later, it felt heavy. Eventually, it felt humiliating. People around them had children, legacies, progress. Meanwhile, the promise sat untouched. This is where faith is most tested, not when God says no, but when God says wait for so long that hope begins to ache. Sarah laughed when she overheard the promise repeated. Not joyful laughter, tired laughter. The kind people use when disappointment has visited too often. Abraham tried to stay composed, but even he considered alternatives, plans, shortcuts, human solutions to divine silence. This is what prolonged waiting does. It doesn't remove belief, it strains it. And this ancient story mirrors your modern life more than you realize. You have been waiting too. Waiting for a breakthrough at work, where effort keeps increasing but recognition stalls. Waiting for financial relief, where budgeting and discipline feel endless and progress feels slow. Waiting for clarity in relationships, and where conversations circle but resolution never lands. You believed, you planned, you prayed, and time kept moving. Waiting is not passive. It drains energy. It tests motives. It exposes impatience you didn't know you carried. It tempts you to settle for substitutes, options that offer speed but cost integrity. Think about an ordinary situation. You check your bank account again, hoping the numbers look different this time. Or you refresh your inbox, waiting for a response that might change everything. Or you sit in traffic after another long day, wondering how long you can keep doing this. These are not dramatic moments. They are daily pressures that slowly wear down faith. The danger of waiting is not doubt, it is decision fatigue. After enough delay, obedience feels optional. Shortcuts start sounding reasonable. You tell yourself, Maybe this is what God meant, even when deep down you know it isn't. Abraham and Sarah reached that point. They tried to help the promise along, and while God did not abandon them, consequences followed. Delay does not cancel destiny, but impatience complicates it. As the ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 4, verse 20 remind us, yet he did not waver through unbelief regarding the promise of God, but was strengthened in his faith and gave glory to God. This verse is not denial of struggle. It is a description of direction. Abraham wavered emotionally, but he did not abandon alignment. There is a difference between feeling tired and walking away, between questioning the process and rejecting the promise. You may feel exhausted right now, not rebellious, just weary. That does not disqualify you. God is not threatened by your fatigue, but he is attentive to your choices during it. Waiting seasons reveal what you trust when outcomes delay. Do you trust timing, or do you trust control? Do you trust character, or do you trust comfort? Here is where hope must become practical, not abstract. Waiting is not wasted time if you are becoming someone who can handle fulfillment. If the answer arrived today, could you sustain it? Could you steward it? Or would it collapse under the weight of unpreparedness? Picture a realistic future. You received the promotion you wanted, but now pressure increases. Or finances open up, but responsibility multiplies. Or a relationship heals, but requires maturity to maintain. Waiting was not to withhold joy, it was to build capacity. Abraham became a father when it was humanly impossible. That detail matters. The timing made it undeniable that fulfillment came from God, not effort. Your delay may be serving the same purpose, removing confusion about the source. Now consider your present choices. You are tempted to rush, to compare, to force clarity. But patience is not doing nothing. It is choosing alignment repeatedly when impatience would be easier. Here is the direct question for this section. What shortcut are you currently tempted to take because waiting feels too long? Naming it matters. Awareness breaks its power. At this moment, anchor yourself with a simple act of agreement. In the comments, write, "I will wait." This is not about public display. It is about internal posture. Writing it slows you down. It clarifies intention. It reminds you that waiting is a decision, not a failure. And here is the interpretation behind that phrase, "I will wait," does not mean you stop moving. It means you refuse to move out of alignment. It means you keep working, keep showing up, keep believing without forcing outcomes that are not ripe. Abraham and Sarah eventually held the promise, not because they hurried, but because God was faithful. Your story is still unfolding. Waiting has not disqualified you. It has positioned you. Do not despise the season that is stretching your faith. It is proving it. There comes a moment when preparation quietly shifts into permission. Not permission spoken out loud, not announced to others, but confirmed within you. A moment when you realize you are no longer only enduring, you are authorized. This is where equipping becomes active, where what has been built inside you begins to respond naturally when pressure shows up. You notice the change first in how you think. Situations that once triggered anxiety now invite discernment. You don't rush to fix everything. You don't collapse under urgency. You pause, assess, and choose. That pause is not hesitation. It is authority learning how to move. Authority does not arrive as dominance. It arrives as calm clarity. In everyday life, it shows up quietly, at work. There is a decision with real consequences. Old versions of you would have over-explained or deferred to louder voices. Now you listen carefully, ask the right questions, and speak once with weight. The room settles, not because you demanded attention, but because what you carried brought order. In your finances, authority looks like intentional restraint. You no longer spend to soothe stress or prove worth. You plan with foresight. You say no without guilt and yes without fear. Money stops being emotional leverage and becomes a tool. That shift did not happen overnight. It came from being trained to think long-term. In your relationships, authority shows up as boundaries that are neither harsh nor apologetic. You stop chasing validation. You stop negotiating your values for peace. You communicate clearly, and if someone cannot meet you there, you let distance do its quiet work. That is not abandonment, it is alignment. What is happening now is this: you are being trusted with influence. Influence does not always mean a platform. Often it means impact where you already stand. An impact requires structure, wisdom, and timing. The word speaks into this moment with precision. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 18. Plans are established by counsel. By wise guidance wage war. Notice the precision. Plans are not guesses. Counsel is not noise. War is not chaos, it is strategy. You are learning to move deliberately, not impulsively. You are discovering that wisdom is a weapon when used at the right time. Think of a well-trained soldier. They don't fire wildly. They read the terrain. They wait for the right moment. Discipline keeps them alive. You are developing that same discipline in your emotions, your decisions, your responses. This is not a season of reaction. This is a season of alignment. There is, however, a subtle resistance you may feel, a lingering habit of shrinking. You might still see yourself through the lens of who you were when survival was your main focus. But survival is no longer the assignment. Stewardship is, let hope become concrete. Imagine a near future where you wake up steady. Problems still exist, but they no longer dominate your nervous system. You face responsibility without resentment. You carry leadership without performance. You trust your judgment because it has been tested and refined. Authority does not remove opposition, it reframes it. You stop personalizing every obstacle. You see patterns instead of threats. You respond with clarity rather than emotion. This is what maturity feels like. Here is the question this section places gently but firmly in front of you. What responsibility are you still hesitating to fully accept, even though you are ready for it? Readiness rarely announces itself loudly. Often, it arrives as quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need permission from others. Now, let this moment offer an invitation without pressure. If these words steadied you, don't rush past them. Some messages are not meant to be consumed, they are meant to be kept. Keeping is a choice, like placing a marker in a book because you know you'll return. If you sense this is one of those markers, allow yourself that quiet yes. And if someone you care about is carrying pressure in silence, let this be like passing them a light in the dark, not with noise, but with care. Light was never meant to be hoarded. Staying connected is not obligation. It is choosing a path that already feels familiar to your spirit. Returning here is like stepping back into a place where your strength is named, not questioned. You are not being rushed forward, but you are no longer meant to stand back. The season ahead will require people who can hold tension without breaking, lead without ego, and move with wisdom instead of impulse. You are becoming that person not by accident, by design. Let this truth settle: you are equipped, you are authorized, and when the moment asks for you to step forward, you will recognize it not by fear, but by peace. There is a quiet temptation that surfaces once the pressure eases a little, the urge to go back. Not always back to sin or chaos, but back to what felt familiar, predictable, controllable. When growth stretches you, familiarity starts to look like safety. And this is where many people stall their future without realizing it. Staying where God has placed you is not passive endurance. It is active trust. You are in a location emotionally, professionally, spiritually that feels narrower than you expected. You thought by now things would look clearer, easier, more rewarding. Instead, you find yourself learning how to remain steady in a place that doesn't yet reflect the promise. That tension makes you scan for exits. Old habits whisper. Old environments call. Old versions of you feel tempting again because they require less faith. But instruction often comes disguised as stillness. In everyday life, this looks very practical. At work, you may feel underutilized or overlooked. You think about changing companies, switching paths, starting over anything to escape the feeling of stagnation. Sometimes change is wisdom, but sometimes movement is avoidance. The question is not, can I leave, but am I being asked to grow here first? In finances, staying put may mean continuing discipline even when progress feels slow. You want a quick win, a risky shortcut, a sudden leap. But wisdom asks you to build consistency instead of chasing relief. Staying where God placed you means honoring process over impulse. In relationships, this instruction can feel even heavier. You may want to retreat emotionally, to disconnect, to protect yourself by pulling away. But sometimes staying means remaining present without hardening, learning to communicate clearly. Set boundaries, and still love without losing alignment. Scripture offers grounding for this exact tension. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 10. In a desert land he found him. In a barren and howling waste, he shielded him and cared for him. He guarded him as the apple of his eye. Notice the setting: desert, barren, howling. Not ideal conditions, yet that is where guidance, care, and protection occurred. God did not rush Israel out of the wilderness immediately. He taught them who he was there. Provision followed placement. Here are practical instructions for staying without stagnating. First, anchor your routines. When emotions fluctuate, routines stabilize growth. Keep showing up. Keep praying simply. Keep working honestly. Consistency is not boring, it is formative. What you repeat daily becomes what you carry forward. Second, resist romanticizing the past. Familiar does not mean faithful. Ask yourself honestly, did the old season actually make you whole? Or did it just feel easier because it demanded less from you? Growth always feels heavier before it feels rewarding. Third, listen before you leap. Big decisions made in emotional exhaustion often create regret. Give stillness time to speak. God's direction is usually clearer when urgency quiets down. Fourth, look for assignment within limitation. Where you are right now holds a responsibility meant to shape you. Who needs your steadiness? What skill is being sharpened? What attitude is being tested? Staying does not mean nothing is happening. It means something deeper is happening. Consider a simple scenario: you want to quit something immediately. A job, a commitment, a relationship dynamic. Before acting, you choose to pause for 30 days. Not to force yourself to stay forever, but to stay intentionally. In those 30 days, you show up fully instead of halfway. You observe, you grow, you let clarity mature. That pause alone can save you from unnecessary detours. Hope becomes real here. Staying where God placed you does not trap you, it prepares you. The roots formed in hard soil grow stronger. When movement finally comes, it will be sustainable, not frantic. Here is the direct question for this section. Are you trying to escape discomfort, or are you being invited to mature within it? That distinction matters. As an act of grounding, type 818 in the comments. If you are choosing to remain aligned where you are planted right now, this number is not magic. It represents order, endurance, and continuation. Writing it is a way of saying, I will not rush what is still forming. Staying does not mean settling. It means trusting that placement has purpose. And when purpose is fulfilled, movement will come naturally without regret, without fear. You are not stuck. You are positioned. And position, when honored, becomes promotion. 8 speaks of new beginnings formed through endurance, not impulse. 1 represents alignment and intentional choice. 8 again confirms continuation with maturity. Together, 818 declares you are not circling back, you are moving forward with structure, not haste. Typing 818 is a personal marker. It says you trust timing over escape, formation over familiarity. It is a quiet agreement to remain teachable where you are planted, knowing that movement will come when the root system is strong enough to carry fruit. There is a shift that happens when preparation, patience, authority, and alignment begin to converge. You start to realize that what you are facing is not merely personal struggle, it is participation. Participation in something larger than your own comfort. This is where you recognize that your life is not isolated. It is positioned within a wider spiritual and practical battlefield. This is not dramatic language. It is observable reality. Every day, choices are shaping atmospheres. Words spoken or withheld alter outcomes. Integrity practiced quietly stabilizes environments. And compromise, even when hidden, weakens foundations. You are now aware enough to feel this weight. That awareness marks a transition. You are standing in the battle line. Spiritual warfare does not always look like confrontation. Most often, it looks like consistency under pressure. It looks like refusing to become cynical in systems that reward shortcuts. It looks like staying truthful when lying would be easier and more profitable. It looks like guarding your inner life when bitterness would feel justified. In your workplace, this battle is subtle. You notice unethical practices normalized, gossip disguised as bonding, competition disguised as ambition. You feel the pull to adapt just enough to survive, but something in you resists, not loudly, not self-righteously, but firmly. That resistance is not stubbornness. It is discernment activated. In your finances, the battle shows up as fear versus trust. Market shifts, unexpected expenses, delayed plans. You can feel anxiety trying to dictate your decisions, but instead of reacting, you choose wisdom. You plan carefully. You refuse panic-driven choices. The calm is not naivete, it is trained stability. In your family and close relationships, the battle often appears as emotional cycles passed down over time. Patterns of silence, anger, avoidance, control. You become aware that you have the option to continue the pattern or interrupt it. Interruption costs more energy. It requires self-control, but it also changes the future. Choosing not to escalate is sometimes the bravest act of warfare. Scripture gives language to this reality. Underneath this is the Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. This verse reframes your experiences. The resistance you feel is not because you are weak, it is because you are positioned. When your life begins to carry clarity, Opposition often becomes quieter but more strategic. Distractions increase. Fatigue whispers. Isolation tempts. These are not accidents. They are attempts to pull you off center. But here is what you are learning. You do not fight by striving. You fight by standing. Standing means maintaining alignment when outcomes are unclear. Standing means holding your values when no one is enforcing them. Standing means continuing to do the right thing even when results lag behind effort. This is why rest becomes a weapon in this season. Not escape rest, but restoration rest. Sleep. Silence. Prayer without performance. When you neglect rest, you become reactive. When you honor it, you remain clear. Clarity is power. Consider a realistic moment you receive criticism that is unfair. Old instincts want to defend, retaliate, explain. Instead, you pause. You respond minimally, truthfully, and without venom. That restraint is not passivity. It is control. Control wins long battles. Another moment you notice yourself growing numb. Not sad, just dull. That is a warning sign. Numbness is often the enemy's preferred tactic. Not to make you fail, but to make you disengage. When you sense it, you return to practices that reconnect you: gratitude, movement, honest conversation, scripture. Re-engagement is resistance. Hope in this section is grounded, not dramatic. You begin to see that your obedience is shaping outcomes you may never fully witness. A younger colleague watches how you handle pressure. A family member feels safer because you stayed calm. A decision you made ethically becomes the reason trust remains intact later. This is quiet victory. Standing in the battle line does not mean you are constantly under attack. It means you are dependable under pressure. Heaven values that more than visibility. Here is the question that anchors this section internally. Where are you being asked to stand firm rather than push forward? Pushing feels productive. Standing feels slow. But standing is what holds ground so others can advance. You are not alone in this line. Others are positioned alongside you even if you cannot see them yet. And every day you remain aligned. You strengthen the ground beneath your feet. This is not about heroics, and it is about faithfulness. And faithfulness over time reshapes entire environments. You are not fighting people. You are resisting patterns. You are not chasing outcomes. You are maintaining alignment. And that alignment is already producing impact, whether recognized or not. Hold your ground. That is how battles are won. You have come far enough now to feel the weight of what is ahead and the certainty beneath it. This is not the kind of certainty that eliminates fear completely. It is the kind that steadies you even when fear whispers. You are no longer wondering if your life has meaning. You are learning how to carry it. What lies ahead is not a sudden escape from difficulty. It is a coronation of responsibility. Crowns are not given to those who avoid pressure. They rest on heads that have learned how to bear it. You have been shaped, refined, aligned, and positioned not to impress but to serve with strength. Being crowned does not mean being elevated above others. It means being anchored deeply enough to hold light without letting it go to your head. Glory in this season looks like consistency, like humility that does not shrink, like confidence that does not need to announce itself. You see this emerging in ordinary ways. In your work, you are trusted more even if not formally acknowledged yet. People bring problems to you because you don't panic. In finances, you think generationally, not impulsively. In family, you model stability simply by how you respond. This is what a torchbearer looks like, someone whose presence makes darkness retreat quietly. Scripture names this moment with clarity. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Light does not strive to be seen. It is visible because it is faithful to its nature. You were not trained to blend in. You were trained to illuminate through integrity, wisdom, and endurance. Being crowned also means choosing what you will no longer carry. Old guilt, old comparisons, old identities formed in survival mode, they cannot accompany you forward. Crowns sit best on free heads. Hope here is not vague. Picture a future where your decisions ripple outward, your steadiness creates safety, your wisdom creates direction, your faith creates courage in others. You may never see the full reach of it, but heaven does. Here is the final question that seals this journey. Will you carry what you've been given with humility, or will you set it down when it gets heavy? Because weight returns to those who refuse it, but it multiplies through those who bear it faithfully. Now, if this journey has spoken to you, let the response be gentle and real. If these words feel like a place you want to revisit, treat them the way you treat something precious, save them. Return to them. Let them remind you who you are becoming. That quiet act is like setting a stone on a path you intend to walk again. If you know someone walking through preparation without applause, consider this message a torch you can pass, not to overwhelm them, but to warm them. Fire shared wisely does not diminish, it multiplies. And if staying connected feels less like a commitment and more like coming home, allow yourself that belonging. Roots grow strongest where you choose to return freely. If these words feel worth keeping, treat them like oil poured into a lamp, a small touch that helps the light last longer. Some people scroll past light, others tend it. If you are the kind who tends it, you already know what to do. And if someone you love is walking through a long night, this message can be like leaving a candle on their windowsill. No speech, no pressure, just presence. Light shared this way never feels forced. Staying connected is not signing a contract. It is choosing to walk a road where the signs already speak your language. You don't follow paths like this, you return to them. As a final act of alignment, write 121 in the comments if you choose to carry your crown with humility and courage. 1 stands for unity of purpose, 2 for witness, 1 again for alignment. It is a quiet declaration: I will walk this out faithfully. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming fully yourself, strengthened, clarified, and crowned for what's ahead. You will return to ordinary life after this, to routines, decisions, and quiet moments no one sees. That is where the crown proves real, not in emotion, but in consistency, not in intensity, but in how faithfully you carry what was entrusted. Some days you will feel strong, other days uncertain. Neither changes what has been placed upon you. Growth is not measured by feeling ready, but by continuing forward without abandoning alignment when readiness feels distant. Walk gently now, not because you are fragile, but because you are carrying weight with wisdom. Let your life speak before your words do. Those meant to follow will recognize the sound of steady footsteps ahead. You do not need to rush away from this moment. Let it remain unfinished on purpose. Some messages are not meant to close like a door, but to stay open like a window, letting air move through your thoughts long after the sound fades. If something here was useful, let it travel naturally, not as an obligation, not as proof of agreement, but the way you would share a quiet place with someone who needs rest. Shared gently, meaning lasts longer. But if sharing is not right for you, that is okay too. What matters more is what stayed with you. Perhaps it was a sentence that slowed your breathing. Perhaps it was a realization that named something you felt but never said aloud. Perhaps it was simply the permission to stop rushing yourself. Hold on to that. You do not have to remember everything. You do not have to act on everything immediately. Growth does not demand urgency, it responds to honesty. Keep what resonated, release what didn't. Both are signs of discernment. This ending is not a conclusion. It is a pause in the middle of movement. Life will continue asking things of you: work, decisions, conversations, responsibilities. When it does, return quietly to whatever grounded you here. Let it recalibrate you without noise. If one day you find yourself back at these words, that does not mean you failed to move on. It may mean you moved forward enough to hear them differently. And if you never return, but something you learned here shapes how you respond, how you wait, how you choose, that is enough. There is no pressure to do anything with this moment except be honest with yourself. Carry forward what strengthens you. Lay down what weighs you down. The path remains open. You will know when to step again.